You left wearing the stillness I never thought I'd learn to live with. I watched you walk out wearing the ghost of a love I held sacred. You wore the silence between us like a wound that never healed. You left wearing the cold distance of a heart turned away. You walked out wearing the final truth I wasn't ready to face. If this touched your soul, don't scroll, like, comment your favorite quote, and subscribe for more. You left wearing the memories we buried beneath quiet lies. I can't believe you walked out wearing the last hope I held. You walked away wearing the night I prayed would never come. You wore the silence like a veil between two broken souls. You left wearing the ghost of a love we both forgot. You walked out wearing the weight of every unspoken apology. You wore my heartbreak like armor, hiding behind your own pain. You left wearing the distance that no words could ever bridge. I can't believe you walked out wearing the shadow of who we were. You walked away wearing the silence that screams louder than words. You wore the sorrow of goodbye like a secret tattoo. You left wearing the emptiness I'm still learning to carry. You walked out wearing the fracture of a heart once whole. You wore the weight of our silence like a final breath. I can't believe you walked out wearing the darkness I loved too much. You left wearing the shadow of every love letter we never wrote. You walked away wearing the cold void where hope used to live. You wore goodbye like a fading star, disappearing without a trace. You left wearing the ache of a love that slipped through time. I can't believe you walked out wearing the silence I begged to fill. You walked out wearing the echo of a love I still hear in silence. You left wearing the fracture of trust I thought unbreakable. You wore my fading light and turned away into darkness. I can't believe you walked out wearing my every whispered hope. You left wearing the weight of dreams that slipped like sand. You walked away wearing the cold emptiness where warmth once lived. You wore goodbye like a shadow that never fades from memory. You left wearing the silence that screamed louder than your words. I watched you walk out wearing the ghost of every tender moment. You wore my heartbreak like a secret too painful to speak. You left wearing the distance that turned love into a memory. You walked out wearing the wounds of a story we never finished. You wore the ache of leaving like a poem without an ending. You left wearing the shadow of promises buried deep in night. You walked away wearing the cold truth I never wanted to face. You wore silence like a wound that no healing could touch. I can't believe you walked out wearing the last trace of us. You left wearing the empty space where my heart once lived. You walked out wearing the shattered pieces of our broken dreams. You wore the weight of goodbye like a cloak of forgotten love. You left wearing the sorrow I carried in silent prayers. You walked away wearing the darkness I begged you to fight. You wore my love like a fading star, slowly disappearing. I can't believe you walked out wearing the cold void of regret. You left wearing the echo of laughter turned to tears. You walked out wearing the quiet grief of a love undone. You wore the silence between us like a final, cruel goodbye. You left wearing the shadow of a heart that no longer beats for me. You walked away wearing the emptiness I tried to fill with memories. You wore the pain of leaving like a scar I'll never forget. I can't believe you walked out wearing the broken pieces of my soul. You left wearing the ghost of a love I still chase in dreams. You walked out wearing the silence that tore us apart. You wore the weight of distance like a wall I couldn't climb. You left wearing the cold regret of things we never said. You walked away wearing the darkness I held in desperate hope. You wore goodbye like a mask hiding 1,000 untold truths. I can't believe you walked out wearing the emptiness of forever lost. You left wearing the shadow of every moment we let slip away. You walked out wearing the sorrow of a love that couldn't stay. You wore the silence like a wound that won't heal with time. You left wearing the cold distance that grew between our hearts. You walked away wearing the ache of goodbye I never accepted. You wore my trust like glass and shattered it without a word. I can't believe you walked out wearing the darkness I once called home. You left wearing the ghost of every touch I still remember. You walked out wearing the silence that swallowed all our dreams. You wore the pain of leaving like a song I can't forget. You left wearing the empty echoes of a love left behind. You walked away wearing the weight of every broken promise. You wore goodbye like a shadow that haunts my quiet nights. I can't believe you walked out wearing the last breath of us. My dear, I can't believe you walked out wearing that, like you meant to erase us with every step. You left wearing shadows where light used to live inside you. I can't believe you walked out wearing our silence like a second skin. That night, you walked out wearing my trust like a ghost. You stepped away wearing everything I thought we had, disappearing without a word. You wore indifference like armor and walked straight out of my heart. You left wearing the weight of every unspoken regret between us. I can't believe you walked out wearing the smile I once loved, hollow and broken. You walked away wearing the memory of promises you never meant to keep. You walked out wearing my love, but left your heart behind. You wore goodbye like a careless dress and never looked back. You walked out wearing the cold distance I feared but never named. I watched you leave wearing the silence that shattered our world. You left wearing the pain you never wanted to show me. You walked out wearing the ghost of someone I thought I knew. You wore betrayal like a crown, walking out without shame. You left wearing the shadow of 1,000 words, unsaid. I can't believe you walked out wearing my heart's ache so casually. You walked away wearing all the love I begged you to keep. You left wearing the mask of indifference, breaking us without a sound. I can't believe you walked out wearing the night we never healed from. You wore silence like a wound, walking away from everything. You left wearing the scars I gave you, like trophies of our fall. You walked out wearing the cold truth I was too afraid to say. You wore my tears like jewelry and walked into the dark. I watched you leave, wearing every lie I never saw coming. You walked out wearing the distance you built between us. You wore the weight of goodbye before you even said it. You walked away wearing the last flicker of what we used to be. I can't believe you walked out wearing my soul's quiet surrender. You left wearing the emptiness I never thought I'd hold alone. You wore my love like a fading sunset and then vanished. You walked out wearing all the promises you quietly shattered. You left wearing a smile that didn't reach your eyes. You wore goodbye like a cold wind, walking out and leaving silence. I can't believe you walked out wearing the darkness I begged you to fight. You left wearing the echoes of our laughter turned to ash. You walked away wearing every dream we once whispered at midnight. You wore the pain of leaving like a shadow I can't outrun. I can't believe you walked out wearing the weight of your own silence. You left wearing the heartbreak you never said aloud. You walked out wearing the ghost of every forever we lost. You wore our past like a shroud, walking silently into nothingness. I watched you leave, wearing the empty space where love used to breathe. You left wearing the truth we couldn't face together. You walked out wearing the cold goodbye I never wanted to hear. You wore my trust like a flame and left it burning alone. You left wearing the shadow of a love too fragile to hold. You walked out wearing the silence of 1,000 broken promises. I can't believe you walked out wearing the night I tried to chase away. You wore the weight of loss like a quiet resignation. You left wearing the wound of words we never dared to say. You walked away wearing my heart's most secret sorrow. You wore goodbye like a secret no one could ever understand. You left wearing the echoes of a love that slipped through our fingers. I can't believe you walked out wearing the cold absence I now carry. You walked away wearing the ghost of every kiss we never shared. You wore the silence between us like a final goodbye. You left wearing the cracks in a love too fragile to fix. You walked out wearing the shattered pieces of what we once dreamed. If this touches your soul, don't scroll, like, comment your favorite quote, and subscribe for more. You left wearing the emptiness I tried to fill with hope. I can't believe you walked out wearing the mask of someone I loved. You walked away wearing the quiet storm inside your broken heart. You wore the distance like a cloak, leaving me behind in silence. You left wearing every goodbye you never had the courage to say. I watched you walk out wearing the last flicker of our light. You wore my heartbreak like a secret I couldn't share. You walked out wearing the weight of every lost yesterday. You left wearing the hollow echo of a love undone. You wore the cold truth like a dagger in the dark. You walked away wearing the shadows of dreams we failed to keep. I can't believe you walked out wearing the silence that shattered us. You left wearing the quiet sorrow of what could never be. You wore the pain of leaving like a poem I never understood. You walked out wearing the scars of a love too deep to heal.